Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Parents, do you have a child with a learning disability who oftentimes is frustrated or lacks motivation when it comes to reading? Do you yourself sometimes feel overwhelmed or experience feelings of helplessness when you're working with your child at home with reading? If you have answered yes to these questions, have no fear, honey, because Teacher with the T is here. Okay, in this video, I will be helping you get a great insight to what it is like for your child to view text that has a learning disability. Hey guys, like this video and want to see more? Remember to hit like, subscribe, and don't forget that little bell so you can stay abreast of all the tea that I'm spilling. Reading is a very complex process that requires the integration of several sub-skills in order to be successful, and actually has an effect on every other subject that our child learns. So reading tends to be a great struggle for students with learning disability. In order to truly help your child, you must first be able to get an understanding of what it is like for them with reading. Be sure to watch this video all the way to the end, where I'll show you a simulation of a student with learning disability with a decoding deficit, what that looks like and what text is to them. As you can see, reading is comprised of 5 levels. We have this bottom level here that looks at foundational skills. So those are things that students come into school with, i.e. if they have any hearing or vision or auditory processing, visual processing issues, maybe fine motors. These are things that could possibly have an effect on the student reading. But we look at the different levels and we progress all the way up until we get to comprehension. So we start with phonological awareness, and that is where students hear the individual syllables or individual words, and they can hear and understand and identify whether or not words rhyme. Once we have mastered that skill, we move to phonemic awareness, where now we are hearing and manipulating sounds in words, so beginning, middle, and end sounds. So we are able to have a word. So let's say that the word is bat, B-A-T. And we can hear and manipulate that skill of bat. So if we wanted to change the beginning sound from a B to a what is the new word? And we should be able to, or our students should be able to say rat. So it's being able to do that. And it's hearing if the sounds are the same or different, right? As we progress with this, the phonemic awareness, we then move on to phonics. And that is where we're connecting the sounds to written letters and letter combinations, reading and decoding words, so that we can see the letters, understand the sounds that they make, and therefore put those skills, these lower level skills and this component of skills together to actually begin reading words and putting words together to make sentences. Once we go through the process of mastering this skill, we now move on to fluency, where we are learning to read the words with what we call automaticity, or looking at the words and being able to see, oh, this word is bat. So rather than sounding it out, we're actually reading that word, because when we see it, the word comes to us. So fluency, we're reading for expression, as well as we're reading quickly, because we want to be able to read and move through. The last component of the pyramid is actually comprehension, okay, in which now we are looking at not only what we have read, but now we're reading for understanding. So we're no longer reading for to be correct, to be accurate, but now we're reading for understanding of what all of these things say, okay? Now, research shows that if we have a deficit in any of these areas, that it keeps us from getting to the top of the pyramid, which is comprehension. Research also shows that if a student is not reading on grade level, i.e., reading for comprehension by the third grade, that the likelihood of them being behind moving forward is drastically increased, right? So for students with learning disabilities, they tend to typically have deficits in one of these lower areas, these lower levels, typically fluency and accuracy, which means that they're reading to make sure that they are reading the words correctly. And so therefore they tend to lose that aspect of trying to get the meaning of what the sentence is actually trying to say. Hey guys, I'm back. So if you're watching me at this point of the video, that means you made it all the way through and you actually got to see the simulation of the passage of a student that could possibly have a decoding or a phonics deficit. And so I hope that that was enlightening for you and you could really see and understand what the students see when they see text. Now, it's important to note that all students do not have these issues. This was just an example of some students that I have seen, and this is actually how they view text. But I wanted to basically just get you some insight, because what I tell my teacher candidates is, you really don't know what it's like, and we really don't know how to help these students until we actually put ourselves in their shoes. So now that you've been in their shoes, you can actually see what they see and feel what they feel. The great thing about you that do not have learning disabilities is at some point you get to come out of this and you actually got to see an example of what the passage actually said, and you could read it and you could totally understand it. But think about your kids that have these learning disabilities that they don't get to come out of it. That's just them, and that's where they are all day. So I hope that this video gave you a deeper understanding into what it is like to be them. Drop me a comment below in the comment section to tell me what you thought about this video. If you'd like to see more, if you want to go more in depth with this video, I'd be happy to do it for any of you that need it. I hope that this finds you well and you guys are doing well and managing to stay sane and not be so overwhelmed during this quarantine when everything is starting to look different. So until next time, I love you all. As always, be blessed and always be a blessing. Until next time, class is dismissed.